AM 970 WSTX.
Good morning, Doc. Thanks for having us here this morning. From the Bureau of the Motor Vehicle, we said good morning and bring you greetings on behalf of myself, the staff at the Bureau of Motor Vehicle Territory-wide, and definitely Governor Albert Bryan Jr. We thank you. I'm here today with one of the employees of the Bureau in St. Croix, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Good morning. My name is Martha Steinpitz. I'm a customer service rep here at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles of St. Croix, and I'm here to do a little Spanish speaking on our online registration this morning.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to turn this over to you all. It's been so much happening at Motor Vehicle, okay, that I'm going to surprise Jerry and shut up and listen.
Okay. Well, we started our online registration process. Among everything else, we started out on Friday, and it has been going very, very well. We had a successful rollout. Of course, like with every new technology and everything that's new, there are some things that we have never thought about that would just show up and we're like, okay, this is a new one. And so that's what we've been doing. We're having very positive feedback, positive results from the community. We ask that if there's any technical issues that anyone is encountering, to give us a call, and later on in the show we're going to give you all that information that you would need. So we ask that when you come to the Bureau to do your inspection, there are some vehicles that don't need to be inspected, right? So if you don't need to be inspected, all you have to do is to go online, register, and pay, and we're going to go through the registration process. If you don't have to be inspected, if you have to be inspected, the process is the same. You come to the Bureau, you have your vehicle inspected, you drive out of the facility, and you go online and pay, and we'll send you your sticker and your registration in the mail, right? It's that simple. Now, there are some vehicles that do not need inspection, and there are vehicles that are up to 6 years old, and vehicles that are 8 and 10. Up to 6, 8, and 10 years old don't need an inspection, so you don't have to come at all. Right? Now, we know that the process of payment, waiting to pay, takes a little while because there's a lot of people that comes to the Bureau, especially the end of the month. So to avoid you having to wait, if it's even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you just go online and pay. And that's what we are here to promote, along with some other services that we're going to talk about. I'm going to pause for a minute because I would like Ms. Sankitz to translate most of what I just said in Spanish.
Okay,
Pull the mic a little closer. Just pull it. It'll come to you.
Okay. So, estamos tratando de hacer nuestras registraciones por internet ahora. So, es fácil, solamente hay que registrar en línea .bmv.vi.gov, y cuando registras, todos tus carros van a estar debajo de su nombre. Tú puedes coger cualquier carro que tú quieras registrar y de ahí hacer el proceso. El proceso es fácil, es simple. Si necesitas ir por la inspección, pues ya tú sabes que tú tienes que venir a la oficina, al bureau, y hacer tu inspección. Y de ahí tú puedes ir del bureau, tú puedes hacerlo por teléfono, por computadora, por tu casa, en tu carro, como tú quieras. Tú puedes hacerlo por internet.
Okay. So basically what she just said is what I said. So you go to bmv.vi.gov. Right? And there is a beautiful lady.
Yes,
She's
I'm looking at her right now.
She's excited with her phone.
So my son, we need to have it on Facebook.
Yeah. And you click on renew registration, right? When you click on that link, it will take you to another page where on the top right, you click register. And once you register, they're going to ask you a series of questions to get yourself into the system. You have to give yourself a username and password. We're going to ask you for your P.O. box, because that's where we will mail the registration to. And once you're in, you sign in using a username and password, and all your vehicles will pop up. If you have 1, 2, 10, they will be all there. You just have to click on the one that you want to register, and they will ask you to pay. You verify the payment amount, you hit submit, and you're done. And we receive it immediately in the office. Now, to complete the process, though, we have to have verification that you were inspected if you were to be inspected. Because the inspectors they were given tablets, little computerized little tablets, where they'll check off if you were inspected, and we will see that immediately on the online process. And the insurance companies are required, and we'll be getting a lot of them by email, to email us the insurance card. So once you receive the insurance card, notification that you're inspected, if you have to be inspected, then we process the registration.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so just for insurance, for the insurance companies who may or may not have gotten the notice, which I think most of them did, but for you, the public, I would like you to know to ask your insurance company or remind them that they have to send the insurance to us at insurance@bmv.vi.gov. Insurance@bmv.vi.gov. That's where the card is sent.
Just curious, do the insurance companies that are in contact with the BMV at present, do they also send notices when insurances have lapsed for beyond? I'm just curious.
They do, but unfortunately, for some companies, we get them late. And by late, I mean 2 or 3 months later. I know Guardian Insurance, not to give anybody any props over another, but Guardian is pretty good at sending it on time. So, but the problem with that though, once we receive it and we will cancel your registration or put a notice, a block on the system that the officers will know that you don't have insurance, you may have had insurance someplace else.
Yes.
So we are urging the community. Most people don't come back and tell us. Once you change insurance companies, we would not know. We need to have something in the law that says you cannot cancel your insurance until you show proof of insurance. So if you are canceling from Guardian, let's say, you have to show Guardian that you either purchased insurance from someplace else or a mechanism for you to bring that back before you were able to cancel your insurance. Right. You shouldn't just be allowed to nilly-willy cancel your insurance, because people will come to the bureau, get a registration, be registered, and then as soon as they drive out, Martha is laughing because she's a customer service rep and she sees it every day. And you just cancel your insurance when you're done.
Yes, right? yes. Yeah. And we have insurance for a reason. We had, before it became mandatory in the context of the law, we had too many people who just were doing that anyhow and circumventing the whole purpose. And you have a fender bender, you don't want to be on the receiving end of a fender bender, not your fault, and the person doesn't have insurance.
Or even worse than that, you don't want to be totally destroyed, right? Or get hurt. There are some people that get hurt and can't work, and then entire families are affected because of someone who does not have insurance. So no, you can't work.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question on the technical aspect of the website.
Yes, sir.
Okay, somebody in my position who has a unique way of seeing, is your website accessible for the blind?
Currently, no. We really have one size fit all website. It was free and it was cheap. So we are getting an updated website that will take all of those things into account.
You know, screen readers and all that stuff.
Yes, we are taking that into.
Yeah,
so presently I can't go online and do anything.
No, you can't. So unfortunately, sir. But you can come to the bureau, and we do have a special assistance for persons who need assistance. Yeah, we do. We do that.
Well, I want to say that aside, the fact is there's been such a great transformation in how you all operate that I just look at it as part of a work in progress. That's the way I look at it. A work in progress is so much.
No, you know, I have the access.
Oh, no. I know. I was just expressing that because, you know, there are things that are happening. We had the Mr. Thomas from P&P in here, Property and Procurement. And the steps that this administration has taken to get our government operating on a digital level, on a digital user-friendly level. They can't do it all overnight. Right. But I like the changes that I'm seeing coming, and that was my point.
Yeah, that's the governor's push. He said it. Well, of course, you know his slogan was the slogan for this administration: "Change course now," and now meaning everything is not going to be fixed immediately, but at least try. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
Right. At least we're gonna try, and as soon we're gonna get through this as much as we possibly can. Because not only online registration, we have a list of other things that we are trying to take digital. And I'm going to guarantee you that it's going to be done before the end of this year. All right. So, later on, I guess we could talk about that. And Martha, we're going to interpret some of what I just said.
Okay.
In Spanish.
Ok, so para seguir, cuando tú estás haciendo tu registración por línea, por su seguro, Hay que llamar a su seguro y dile que tienen que mandar su seguro a insurance@bmv.vi.gov. Para tener, si tienes difficulties, tú puedes llamar cualquier oficina que tú quieras. Tenemos 3 números: 774-4258, 713-4258 o 776-5252. Y cualquier persona te pueden ayudar. Hay algunas cosas que tienen que buscar y uno de esos va a decir tu número de clienta. Y ese número va a ser muy importante cuando tú vas a registrar. Ese número tú puedes buscarlo en su licencia, en el viejo va a decir tu número 10 y en el nuevo va a decir 100.
All right. So, and that's correct. For the new driver's license, one of the questions that you're asked when you go into the system to register, they're going to ask you for your ID number. And on the it's the DL number, the driver's license number, and the newer license.
Okay.
The older license is the CI number. All right. So that's what they mean by, and we have a little explanation on the site, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
And
So you can renew your license online as well?
eventually we would. We're working on that. That's the next phase for the summer.
Because you know I got a driver's license.
Yeah. Wow. We clearly don't discriminate.
Well, let me tell you, right? One night I was coming up the road after dropping him off, okay, and he wanted me to let him drive. Well, anyhow, me and my far self didn't let him drive, and a horse run out and tried to take me out. He let me to know that he know all the house them there, and they don't, mind when he come in, and it would not happen. So. Yes,
You're wrong.
So we're moving on. The next thing that we are trying to do is, what we are going to do is, effective March, the 1st of March, we are changing our disability placards. We are changing those. Currently, we're giving persons who renew an 8.5 by 11 placard a big piece of paper, right?
Yeah,
it's not our ideal one because we didn't reorder the smaller ones knowing that we were going to change. Because the smaller ones that we normally have, they cost money to reprint. We don't print them in-house.
Right.
So because we didn't reprint, because we wanted to order, we have ordered the one that is hanging from your rearview mirror, right? And what they will have is a sign, the disability symbol, and it's going to be color coded. If it's temporary, it's red, and permanent is blue. And there's a number. That's all it is. A number and an expiration date.
It's still the 5 year, the 1 year.
5 year and 1 year, yes.
Okay.
So it's going to be a expiration date would be on there, right?
Because I have to renew mine, but I was going to do it next week. But since you say you have a new thing coming,
We have
next month.
right. So you're going to get the one that's hanging from your rearview mirror. But along with that, we are issuing an ID card, a disabled person's ID card. Because on the card, you can put whatever information you want, specifically the placard number. So let's say the officer were to ask you, who owned this placard. If you're sitting in a car, you're the owner, they want to verify, then you show them the placard. Because the number on the placard is going to be on your card.
Okay.
And all your other information, your name, address, and so forth is going to be. So that's the change.
Okay.
And it's kind of standard across most states. There are states who still have the card that you put it into the visor. Or the dashboard, but for most states they have that placard. It's kind of standard.
Okay. And every now and then you see some people walking around and they have this big boot on their leg because they damaged their leg. And one time I was at a government agency, and this lady parked all the way over in the parking lot where it was the only available space. And I saw this lady struggle to come in because the handicap areas were already filled. And when one did come open and she saw it open, she said, well, I don't have a sticker. Is there a provision for a person who, by way of a temporary injury, can get something of a proof for use during that time?
Yes.
Okay.
They have to go to the doctor.
They have to go to the doctor and bring in the documentation. Okay. And I wanted to bring that out because folks don't assume that when it says for a person with a disability that the parking is there for them, that it's something you must have a disability for life. You know,
Right.
some people look at it as somebody saying, "Well, I gotta be out in a wheelchair for the rest of my life to qualify or whatever." No, if you are injured in a way that affects your mobility, where like the situation I described,
Right.
that's what the handicap parking is for. It's no longer handicap.
Disabled person.
Disabled person parking.
But here's you want to hear my pet peeve?
Talk to me.
With a disabled person parking? My pet peeve is, and I see this all the time, and of course, you know, a lot of times I'm tempted to say something, but there's people with disabilities who would park in a spot all day. All day. So you who have to run to the post office or run into the bank and come back, you have to either circle and find a regular parking because the disability parking spots are about this much, maybe 4, 5, 6 sometimes. And here it is that someone just parked there all day. No, if you have a disability, a mobility issue, I got that. You have to park there. But if it's not a mobility, if it's not a serious mobility, you would think that somebody with disability would say, "Well, have a heart. I'm going to be there all day anyway." So let me just park in a regular parking, which is right next door, which is right next to the handicap parking.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
I agree with you. You know, because you could even have somebody, a co-worker or somebody, move your car and put it in a different parking space.
Exactly.
Yes, and to leave the parking space for the person that's coming to do business there that's going to need it.
Yeah. But so what I would like to see, I say that to say, what I would like to see is that maybe, I guess we have to regulate everything. We can't leave everything to common sense or common courtesy. That it have the handicap parking for, if you're going to be there all day, maybe a sign that says this is for people who are going to be there all day. You know, maybe the businesses could take it upon themselves to do that. But if you're going to be more than an hour or two, you should be giving in the same general area, right? But another set of parking. But that's just my little pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So I've had that incident happen, you know, before I lost my sight. Because I have problems with my foot. You know, people say I walk normal, so they don't realize that. But, you know, so I've had that issue where I had to try to find alternate parking because people just park there and I couldn't get to use the disabled parking.
Okay.
Alrighty, so let's move on with some of the other things that we some of the other things that we are offering at the Bureau.
Okay.
All right, so we are trying to go paperless. So the most, hopefully, by when summer is that?
Summer.
By summer, we're trying to go paperless. So hopefully, the only thing you'll have to do that will be taken as paper are your affidavits once all of your information is in the system. So we're trying to get there. We're trying to have, besides the vehicle registrations, we're trying to do your driver's license to be renewed online. Like everybody knows, we're now doing the Real ID driver's license. I know everybody's complaining it's a hassle to bring in all these documents once again.
No, it's not.
But
not for all the benefits.
hopefully by 2025 you can renew your driver's license online. We're trying to also do the identification cards, disability, and the disability permits. And we're also trying to introduce, hopefully, you said by summer as well, right? The BMV app. It's gonna call QLS. This is where you're gonna be issued a number. Yes, we'll be taking your cell phone number. And once you are about to come up in line in order to pay, you will receive a text message stating that we are available and your documents are ready to be picked up.
And for that process, let's say you leave the Bureau for whatever the reason and you want some more time because you may have to run back to work, you could always text back in the app and say, you know, give me another hour. So we'll put you down further. So by the time you get there, when you get there, you will not be ready 100%, but at least you'll be 5-10 minutes away from being assisted. So we are going to introduce that system as well for persons who would like to have that service. And so you could...
You're making the experience a quality experience.
It's very different if I just sit there.
And,
I like that.
And this is why I say I really appreciate seeing these things come to focus. You know, one of the things about technology, it has to be implemented in a way that improves the quality of life.
Right.
Some implementations are a real hassle to do something, and anything that's going to make it easier in that context is something I look forward to. You mentioned the real ID, and with my fast self, I said no, it's not as to bringing in the paperwork, and specifically to the real ID thing.
Right.
When you look at the benefit of having the real ID, if a situation happened, God forbid there was a fire, your passport get burned up, and you got to travel all of a sudden, your ID now saves you time and hassle, gets you on a plane and gets you where you got to go. So it's worth having both. One could be a primary and one is the backup. That's just the way it is.
So with the real ID, I've seen some traffic on Facebook about the comments, and some people were having some issues with the real ID. So I put out a call to the Department of Homeland Security, and what they asked us to do, wherever there's a problem at an airport, they need to know which airport so that they could address that airport.
Okay.
And I understand that some folks are having problems at Miami Airport. One person told me a story about a TSA worker. They were trying to deny them boarding with that card. And it was a young person, and she was adamant. But the supervisor came over and told her, no, that is the Virgin Islands license. So, and we're actually in a manual. There's a book that has all states and territories. We are in there. We paid to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
So in that book, it has all of our existing IDs. So clearly, no one told her. All right? And you will have that.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I feel better that it's not only us, but this gentleman was on a plane coming down with me a few months ago, and he told me he was coming from Oklahoma City, and they did the same thing to him in Oklahoma with an Oklahoma real ID.
Right.
So it's just education on the part of the agents. I went to St. Thomas and St. Croix. I've met with them, and here locally we don't have a problem. Of course, we know, but when you go stateside, another thing a gentleman posted on Facebook, and I did contact him because I know him personally, about his driver's license. Well, I'd like you to know that we are in the process. As a matter of fact, I was just speaking to the officer, the lieutenant who's in charge of the project. We are in the process of integrating our driver's license with stateside. It's called state to state. We are done on our part. The police department is done on their part. But there's some integration that must be done because this is stateside, right? So there's some integration that is taking a little longer than we anticipated. That's what she told me this morning. That because I know we were ready. So I'm asking, like, why aren't we done? So she explained to me what the hold-up was, right? And of course, we have to be trained because this is through the NCIC FBI system. So we are going to be doing that. So when you bring a license to us, we'll be able to just scan it or input the information, and we will know everything about you. If you had a license before and you said you didn't have one, we'll be able to tell. If there was something wrong, if it was suspended, and you're trying to get a driver's license instead in the VI, we will be able to tell, and they will be able to access our system as well. So I know I saw it, it was not a nice feeling, I guess, but we've never been on a stateside system, ever. So we are with a real ID, and not only with real ID, even outside of the real ID, because not all states are participating in a real ID anyway. So this system is not really tied into real ID at all. It has nothing to do with real ID. It's just the fact that we need to be on a national system so we would know real time exactly who we're dealing with. Identity theft is a big thing, right? So we need to know exactly who we are dealing with when they come to the Bureau for these services.
All right.
So if I get caught in the States drunk driving, they will throw a flash down here?
Yes, they would, because right now they do. They report to us when stuff happens,
Okay.
But our law really doesn't allow for reciprocity in that area. So now that, so they can actually send us a flag and say, this is what's going on, this is what happened. And vice versa, we could do the same thing.
Well, one of the things that happens from time to time, people compare us and the States, right? And I am so happy every time I hear you say, we're ready, we're waiting.
Yeah.
Because you have these things where people want to complain, and in fact, it's not something new, folks. Sometimes we in the Virgin Islands are leading, and the States have to play catch up. And I will share as a little story here. My mom, retired nurse, way back before I was around, she was telling me she went away to do training in the States. And she left here with indoor plumbing. and she went to the States, and where she went was a place in Maryland, and they didn't have. You know, and I'm saying, folks, don't be so quick to badmouth your Virgin Islands. Ask the questions first and find out, because it might be that we're waiting in line because they ain't moving fast, you know.
That's true.
Okay? And it's so funny you mentioned that someone sent me a text. They had an issue in Atlanta. Okay? And so the important thing, I'm glad that you said it, is that people to understand that, you know, that we figuratively put them in a place, say, hey, we not in the book or no. We not there.
We are in the
Okay?
book.
You need to check.
And we need the information, and the public can email us, at info@bmv.vi.gov. info@bmv.vi.gov, because we need to know, right? So that if it means training for these people at these airports, that's what we have to do, right? Real ID is October 1, 2020 is a drop dead date for anyone who wants to travel using a driver's license. You could travel. But if you want to use your license by October 1 of this year, you have to have the Real ID to use it as a travel document. Right. Or if you're going to go to a military base or any federal facility and nuclear power plant, you have to have the Real ID to get on. If you want to use that as an ID, you can use your passport.
Okay, so I need to either get a passport or I need to trade in my license for a Real ID.
A Real ID, yes. If you want to use it to travel. Okay?
What about there's a disability ID? Mm-hmm. Will that be under the Real ID thing, or you will have to get a different type of ID?
No, the Real ID, you can have the disability symbol. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if we're doing it on the Real ID though. Miss Sankis could tell you that because she works in that area.
The reason why I asked this question.
No. It's just a government issued ID and a driver's license.
Okay. The reason why I asked is, you know, there's a disability ID that you have to fill out a form and all this stuff to get, right?
Yeah. And
there are people that don't have a driver's license. That may not be able to afford a passport. You understand? But you need an ID to do business like banking and all that stuff. So, you know, my thing is, okay, what happens if the person that can't afford a passport? So, and they have to get this disability ID to do their banking and stuff like that.
You could get that. A disability ID. We issue them now.
Yeah, I know.
Or the Real ID disability
asking,
ID.
Yeah. What I'm asking if that you have something like that in the making.
Well, we never really thought about that, because you could get a Real ID, right? And then you could get a disability ID.
The Real ID is what, a driver's license? No,
the Real ID is just an ID.
Just an ID.
Because you gotta have a non-driver's license, Real ID, non-driver's license, and a Real ID, driver's license. It's two different documents. So if you don't drive, it was just a ID, identification, U.S. Virgin Islands identification with the Real ID symbol, with the star.
And you guys offer that?
Yes, and then you could get your disability ID, so you can get two IDs.
Okay. No, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got it. So, because people ask the question.
But the Real ID is basically, I call it driver's license on steroids. Right? It's all these documents you have to bring in to verify who you are, and it's a star. It was ordered really by Congress after the 9/11 incident. Right? So they decided, look, these guys had driver's license from the United States. Okay, so they felt that, which was true, if you have a standard for issuing driver's license, that's all it is, a standard. We're all required to take extra documents, a lot more documents to verify who these people are. You know, had they done that, they may not have been able to get away with it, other than just come in and say, I am so and so. You give them a ID and a birth certificate that's not verified, and you get an ID. So what they're saying, the chances of you getting through and get a state's driver's license is less than if we didn't do this extra step or the extra measure to give you a license. So what they decided, that all states should put a star, and that will tell the other state this particular ID was vetted. That's what it does. Okay.
Well, you know, I appreciate all the extra steps, because when you look at what it does for us in terms of security and feeling more secure in our travel, that alone is worth it. You know, we don't like the hassle, whether it's going through check-in, taking off your shoes, whatever you have to go through, but I prefer to go through all of that and be on the safe side. Also, with things like identity theft and so forth and so on, I think it's important. Anyhow, there's something you didn't talk about. I see that BMV, in addition to technology wise, they got a makeover.
Yeah.
Ah,
we are enhancing.
okay.
So we under, especially on St. Croix, which is a heartache for me, right? We're under a tent. So we've gotten a new trailer, right? And we did a trailer because we are moving from the facility. We are going to get a new building in short order. We got we received a new trailer, a double wide, big enough to hold everybody. It's air conditioned, and that's where we're going to have a waiting lounge. All right, it has a bathroom facility, handicap accessible, disability accessible. We're starting to work on Saturday, so hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks maximum, we'll have the build out so that we can move everyone into that facility.
All right. Now that's the substantive makeover. There's another one that by now is just old hat to you, but it's new hat to us. You got a new logo, and I see
Yes.
the skip the line signs and all these other things. It's
Skip
like,
the line.
wow! I said, okay, I love it.
Makeover, complete makeover.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have to move. Of course, there was nothing really. Well, I shouldn't say there was nothing wrong, but the old Mustang that we had, to me, it said that we're still back there. It's vintage. Okay, it has its place, but not on a logo. So we have changed it so that we can really look fresh. We are we have a Virgin Islands flag little symbol that's on the VI flag little seal. And we also have the islands and the water, who we are, and of course BMV, so everybody will know that's who we are, right?
Fantastic.
Because, like we like to say at the BMV, my little logo, excellence is all we do. So we try to do everything excellently.
Okay, fantastic. I am just so glad that I got you here to be able to talk about these things because people need to hear it. And the chances are, I like your style of making sure that you utilize all the available media.
Yeah.
Because there's no one place you're going to reach everybody, and I really commend you on that and your approach. And to others, I say proof of process, look at motor vehicle.
Thank you so much
All right.
for having us, Martha. Any part in Spanish words?
Pues gracias por escuchar a nosotros y hopefully we see you soon.
All right.
Thank
For
you.
all the good things that you all do down there, I want to say thank you. But before you go, you can't go
Okay.
until we let you broaden the smile that you walked in here with.
Oh, that is
Okay.
so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, this is
gooseberry.
Doug Canton special.
Actually,
I
yeah,
love it.
I have culture bears that work with me to do it, so people don't have to worry that Doug Hampton is the cook behind.
Oh,
It's
it's
the
very
good
good with
stuff.
ice cream, actually.
Yes.
I have a question though before you go. The prices for the handicap placards, are they the same or will there be an increase?
No, it would be the same. Yeah, it would be the same. Yes. Yeah, no increase. It will be the same.
And I just don't want to be blindsided.
Oh, no. And if there was going to be an increase, we would tell you anyway. We'll put it in the,
being that
press release.
my thing is expired, will I have to go back to the doctor?
Is it a permanent?
Yes.
No, you don't have to go back to the doctor. You just come by. Well, if you could do it online, if you could have Doug help you to do it online, you could wait for the process, or, but that's in the summer. But come February, we will give you a new one. You come down, I will exchange it for the new one.
You mean March?
March, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
February is done.
gonna be dramatic. I'm gonna take advantage. Oh Lord, you didn't go there. Me teach he.
Teach.
He was teach me.
We're going to be at the fair as well, at the agriculture fair.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
see what
please
we're talking
visit
about?
us.
See what we're talking about?
You
I
taught him? And you taught him?
He certain things he can get done on his rifle. He asked me, I will show him.
The guy is good. Okay, he's good.
I have a electronics background. My dad used to fix radio and TV.
Okay.
Back in the day. So, being blind, I just expanded my horizon with accessible technology.
Nice.
Okay, we have a caller here online too. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. We have motor vehicle in the house.
Yes, you could hear me good?
Yes,
Yeah.
quite well.
Just before you leave, again, I know you touched on the new driver's license. What are the requirements again for if you're gonna care to mention what are what you have to bring in as far as for the new driver's license?
Okay. You have to bring proof of lawful status. So you have to prove that you're a permanent resident or citizen of the United States and the Virgin Islands, meaning your birth certificate, your U.S. birth certificate, your passport, alien registration card, naturalization certificate, or authorization to work in the Virgin Islands. You bring those, and you bring your social security card, because we have to verify that as well, and two proofs of physical address, two of them. So
Like a WAPA bill
your
or
WAPA
something
bill,
like that?
yeah, your WAPA bill, your tax bill. This usually have it. Anything that has a physical placement, your internet bill normally will have that as well. Your tax paper. Now, if you don't own the property, right, or if you live with someone, or if you're renting, all that person has to do is to give you a notarized letter saying that you live at that property and give you a copy of their bill. It's just that simple. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thanks for the call. Yeah. Well, I think this has been a real educational journey here this morning. What do you think, Jared?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks again for having us, and we'll come back.
All
We'll
right.
swing. We'll circle back as we improve on our processes. We would come back to let you know,
All right.
exactly what we're doing.
And keep me in mind whenever you have any public announcements,
Yes.
like press releases, that type of stuff.
Sure.
Zip them my way also.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
You're welcome.
folks.
Doors always open.